Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 current young guys that could be potential future Hall of Famers. Now, some of the parameters that I made for this video, parameters, that was a big word. But anyway, so it's like the rules for this video is that they have to be from one of the last 3 draft classes, meaning 2017 through 19, which means any player drafted before 2017, they cannot be on this list. So all those players are exempt. And now another thing is, just because a player that may be better, like there's some players on this list that may not be as good as some players that did make the list, but I just think that they have a better chance of winning more and winning and having a more accomplished career than other players that didn't make this list. So yeah, and at the end of the video I'll have some honorable mentions as well. So yeah, but without further ado, without rambling on too much, just get right into this video. Alright, so the first player on this list is going to be Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum, I feel like is a more expected player to be on this list. He was the 3rd overall pick in the 2017 draft class, and probably has been the best player out of that draft class as well. As I mean, just in his rookie year, he showed tons and tons of potential, as he averaged 14 points per game and 5 rebounds per game in just his rookie year, but that was not the most impressive part of his rookie campaign. The most impressive was him in the playoffs, where they lost Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, and he was able to lead his team all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they only lost in Game 7 to the LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers. They pushed LeBron James's team to a Game 7, and not only did they do that, Jason Tatum as a rookie was able to lead a Celtics team all the way to a playoff run to the Eastern Conference Finals in just his rookie season. So he showed extremely high potential of being a leader and being able to be a good enough player to lead a team to very high success in just his rookie season. And I mean, he has leveraged that, as his sophomore campaign was a little bit less flashy, but his 3rd year in the NBA has been a very good year, and probably his best year of his career, and he has shown that superstar potential we did see when he was in the playoffs in the 2017 season. So I think for sure Jason Tatum could definitely have Hall of Fame potential. I could see him maybe being the 2nd best player, or maybe even, if it's a very good team put together, the best player on a championship team. I mean, the Celtics this year, if the season does continue, they are a sleeper team to make it out of the East with that roster that they have. So I think personally that Jason Tatum will maybe win 1 or 2 championships and maybe even become a perennial all-star, and that just might be enough to push him into the Hall of Fame. And now the second player on this list is going to be Bam Adebayo. Now, Bam Adebayo, a lot of people that are watching this video probably weren't expecting to hear Bam Adebayo's name in this list. Well, I mean, he was the 14th overall pick, and he did have a little bit of a slow start to his career, at least offensively he did. But I mean, this year is having a tremendous breakout season, averaging 16.2 points per game, 1.2 blocks per game, and 5.1 assists per game, going along with 10.5 rebounds per game. And he has shown potential of being one of the best rim protectors in the league, but also having pretty good offensive potential as well, and he can also pass pretty decently for a big man his size. So I mean, if he's able to go along and average a 20-point20-point double-double for his entire career, he already made his first All-Star team in just, I think, his 2nd season in the NBA, and he's probably going to be an All-NBA team player this year, and I don't see him letting up. I mean, once his averages get to around 20, maybe even 24 points per game, he's averaging 10 rebounds per game, still averaging his block per game, and plus he's contributing a little bit in the assist category as well. If this Miami Heat team can develop and really mold into the championship contender I think they can be in a couple years, I think Bam Adebayo is in great position to get some championships under his belt, and also get a whole bunch of All-NBA teams, All-Star appearances, and just a very solid player. So I mean, for sure, I think, yes, Bam Adebayo maybe isn't one of the more longer shots in this list to make the Hall of Fame, but I do think that he does have that Hall of Fame potential if he's able to average that 20-point double-double, make a few All-NBA teams, win 1 or 2 championships, and I think Bam Adebayo could definitely be in that situation with the Miami Heat, how they are currently constructed, if their young guys develop fast enough and Jimmy Butler can stay in his prime long enough. And now my third guy, I'm pretty sure this is the most surefire guy on the list, Luka Doncic. Now, Luka Doncic was the 3rd overall pick in the 2018 draft, and let's be honest, this is almost guaranteed, opposing any just like career-altering injury or anything like that. Luka Doncic is going to make the Hall of Fame. He's already shown in just his second season of his career MVP potential, as he was very early in the MVP conversation, and in just this season alone is averaging 28.7 points per game, 8.7 assists per game, and 9.3 rebounds per game. And I mean, he's just shown that potential to maybe be one of the best players, if not the best player in the league one day when he does hit his prime. And he is a far, far distance away from his prime. Like I said, this is only his second season in the league, and Luka Doncic is out here looking like he's a 30-year veteran. Out here, he's already won 3 championships, has 2 MVPs on his belt. No, this is his second season. So I can see probably a couple MVPs coming his way, a couple championships coming his way once Kristaps and Luka really start getting into their full potential. And I mean, I think Luka Doncic is by far the most surefire thing for the Hall of Fame out of anybody on this list. And now the fourth player on this list is going to be Zion Williamson. Now Zion Williamson, I'm pretty sure a lot of people could see him on this list, and I know it is extremely early in his career to be saying he's anything close to a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying he has potential to be that Hall of Fame player, and I don't think anybody can dispute that. If he played all year, let's be honest, the Pelicans would most likely have at least been the 8th seed in the West, and he would be a surefire thing for the Rookie of the Year. As despite missing about half the season, he came in his rookie season dominating, looking like a vet, putting up all-star numbers, really. And I mean, you can't deny his absolute potential to possibly be one of the next superstar like LeBron James. Now, I'm not saying he's anywhere near that. He's not even come close to scratching the surface of being that good yet. But I'm just saying that he does have that potential. And I mean, yeah, I really think Zion has that potential. And now the most surprising player on this list, I might get some hate for putting him over people, but hear me out, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This dude is extremely underrated. But I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is another player having one of those really big breakout seasons. He's just not being looked at as much. He's averaging 19.3 points per game, 3.2 assists per game, and 6.1 rebounds per game. And I mean, he's a huge reason the Thunder are having this surprising season. Let's be honest, a lot of people did not see the Thunder being a playoff team. Now, I was one of the people that were kind of high on the Thunder just because I liked their roster, and I liked Shai Gilgeous when he was with the Clippers, and I thought he was really balling out with the Clippers. So I was expecting him to be very good with the Thunder, and that's pretty much what he has done. He's been a very good player for the Thunder, and I mean, I feel like once CP3 retires or leaves the Thunder and he really becomes the man on that team, he's going to be a all-star, maybe even all-NBA type player, and I just love him as a player. And the reason I have him this high is because I can see him being the second or third best player on a lot of championship teams. I could see him winning a ton of championship teams. I could see him winning like 3 or 4 championships just from him going like contender to contender because he's that good. And I mean, I could see him like probably being that dude averaging 20 points per game as the third best option on the team. And with those rings and maybe a few All-NBA appearances, maybe that would be enough to put him in the Hall of Fame. And now here are the honorable mentions. And these guys, the list was in no order. And I mean, I'm going to tell you why these people didn't make the list, but just hear me out. These honorable mentions could have easily replaced almost anyone on this list. Luka Doncic was the only one I feel like is above and beyond all these players. But I mean, any player in these honorable mentions could have easily taken anyone's place on this list. Those honorable mentions consist of Ja Morant, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, Lonzo Ball, and Donovan Mitchell. Now, here are the reasons I did not put some of these players on the list. Ja Morant is because I love the way he plays. I absolutely love it. But I mean, I don't think if he's as loyal as he always says he is, I can't see Memphis winning a championship. They're extremely young, and I mean, the best I could see them is getting probably Western Conference Finals, because I love Jaren Jackson Jr., I love Ja Morant, Brandon Clark's probably going to develop into a very nice player, and I mean, they are an extremely young team, but they don't have that other superstar. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is an all-star, and I think Ja Morant's a future superstar. But they don't have that current superstar that they need to help them push them over the curve. And I don't see Memphis Grizzlies ever attracting another superstar. They would have to draft one, and it's just very hard to draft a superstar, especially when you're going to be the 8th seed almost every year, or 7th or 6th, and never really getting lottery picks. Now, Trae Young is definitely probably a better player than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Bam Adebayo, but I don't see Trae Young winning much in his career. It's just how he plays. First of all, he's with Atlanta, and he's probably going to resign. So the first, 7 years of his career are pretty much going to go to the wayside. He's with the Atlanta Hawks. So, I mean, Trae Young is going to be wasting the first 7 years of his career. Although he'll be putting up huge numbers, he's not going to be winning many games. Unless Atlanta is able to completely turn around their team and the front office is able to get their shit together, which I highly doubt. So yeah, I just don't see him winning enough to make the Hall of Fame, and that's why he's not on the list. But I do feel like he's better players than some of the players that I did put on this list. DeAndre Ayton, pretty much the same boat. He's a very underrated player, but he's so underrated to the point to where, like, even if he was good enough, I don't feel like he's going to make the Hall of Fame. But also because, I mean, he's with the Suns, and I don't see him winning much. And he's a center, too, and he's not going to be able to make a huge impact. In modern-day centers, he's not really like that. He's more of a big man, like, dominant. He's a very good center, don't get me wrong. Pretty underrated, but still, I just don't see him winning much. Lonzo Ball, the reason he's not on here is because, I mean, Lonzo's never going to be this flashy scorer. He's always going to be that point guard you need to win a championship, but he's never going to be that dude. Like, he's never going to be that all-around scorer. He's never going to be this superstar on a roster, despite him maybe being one of the best players on a roster. So, Lonzo Ball, I just don't see him being flashy enough and putting up enough points and scoring. Like, I just don't see him making the Hall of Fame. And then Donovan Mitchell, he was very close to making the list because I really like him, but I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's ever going to get to the point to where he is one of the best players in the league. Like, I can see him always being an all-star his entire career, being one of the best players in the league, but I can never see him being, like, a top 4, top 5 guy in the league. I just don't see him becoming that. I don't think he has that type of potential. I think he's pretty close to what his ceiling is right now. He's probably like a little bit better of a three-point shot away from reaching his ceiling. So yeah, I just don't see Donovan Mitchell making the Hall of Fame. But like I said, any of these 5 guys on these honorable mentions could have easily made the actual list itself. So don't take any like hate from that. In the list, like I said, it wasn't in any particular order. So don't get mad if I said one guy before the other. So yeah, don't take it like that at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. So comment below, do you agree with the list? Do you think any of these honorable mentions should have made it over, or do you think I missed someone entirely? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like the video, aim point, hit the like button and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Y'all have been absolutely crushing it lately, and I cannot thank y'all enough. And I hope you have a blessed day. Can I have a blessed day? So you need to have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah.